What's poppin'? It's your boy Von Doom. Check it out. I just came back from The Matrix Resurrections. Saw that movie. We gonna review it. Spoilers ahead, just to let you know. Alright, so first things first. Whoever said the movie was bad, I think y'all must be going through some issues or something. Because to me, the movie was pretty dope. I don't know why IGN gave that mug a 4. They said it was laughable. There wasn't nothing laughable about the movie. I think it was pretty good. Yeah, there's some certain things that I have some questions about, but nah, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. For me, this Matrix is kind of like El Camino, off the Breaking Bad series. Breaking Bad series is a timeless classic masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. El Camino is icing on the cake. It wasn't necessarily needed, but I'm glad it was there. There was nothing bad about it. It was just that, just some extra things after the series, which was good. I kind of see this Matrix like that. They say it's a reboot, but to me, I don't know. It doesn't look much like a reboot. It kind of looks like a rebuild, if you will. So the first part of the movie is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. So you start off. So Bugs is the new character with the blue hair. She's captain of the new ship. They're basically trying to find Neo. The new Morpheus is actually, I think, a computer program, and that Morpheus and Bugs, they meet up with each other, and they try to find Neo. So the Morpheus program is stuck in a loop that Neo himself made. That's how Bugs and her team found Neo. All right. So anyway, Neo in this version of the Matrix, he is a game developer. So the thing is they made it so that he thinks that he created the video game The Matrix, and what he created was the 3 movies that happened in his previous life. So basically, his body was reconstructed. They brought him back to life, and they said, "Hey, we're going to keep you here, but we're going to monitor you. So you make sure you don't do nothing stupid." It's the same Neo, but what they're doing, they plugged him back into the Matrix, and they're giving him giving him the pills and stuff, just like I said in my theory video. Or my trailer breakdown. They gave him the pills. They're keeping his memories. In fact, they're keeping his memory suppressed. Actually, I don't know if the blue pills are like an amoeba effect, or it's just or are they actually doing something to Neo's memories? Because in this version of the Matrix, he's borderline insane because he doesn't know the difference between the real world and the Matrix, or he does, but his therapist is telling him that they're just hallucinations, that the flashbacks that he's having and the certain things that he's doing, like walking off of cliffs, because of like at the the very first movie where him and Morpheus go on the building in the simulation and free your mind, that thing, and then he jumps off the cliff. Well, now he's doing things as if like he's like, yeah, I can do this. But the thing is, like, he can do them. He just doesn't realize that what is going on isn't flashbacks of a video game, but it's actually real life memories. So the first act is basically trying to get Neo to realize that he is not having hallucinations. This isn't a video game, but he actually did this in real life. And the machines in the Matrix are basically making it an illusion that he thinks that these are video games that he made, but they're not. And so Bugs and Morpheus, they meet up with Neo a couple of times and tell him that, yo, this is real. We gotta go. You need unplugged. And the first time he's like, yo, this isn't real. I don't know what's going on. And then there's actually a scene where all of this has happened and it flashes in, all of a sudden it flashes back to the therapist. So they are further trying to monitor and keep him from thinking that these are his real memories, so that he might, break out on his own. So anytime he has this hallucination about his memories, he goes back to his therapist, and his therapist just convinces him that they're hallucinations, right? So the first act is basically about, him finding out if what he's actually dreaming or having flashbacks about is real. And there's this whole montage about him being a game developer, going to see his boss, and his boss is actually Smith. And Smith is like, yo, Warner Brothers is like, we need to do a Matrix 4, like literally the Matrix 4. And so his game development team is talking about things about what reboots are, what reboots aren't. It's kind of like a fourth wall type of thing. I thought the montage was really cool about, what they were doing. Like, you see what they're doing. The movie is aware of itself. I thought it was interesting. I like that part of the movie. I don't think a lot of people like that part of the movie, but I thought it was cool because you see, not only do you like see what the movie's doing, being aware of itself and talking about reboots and stuff like that, you notice what's going on within the developers, but then you see what's going on within Neo. Neo is tripping out. He doesn't know what's going on. Like he's having all these flashbacks and anxiety attacks and all that other stuff. He doesn't know what the hell's going on, right? Anyway, so you have the first act. Neo and Bugs eventually convince him that this is real. He takes the red pill and they take his body from the pod. His body and Trinity's body are in some pod, right? Or not pod, or in some top tower in the Machine City. And they infiltrate that tower and they end up getting Neo's body back, right? Before that happens, him and Trinity do meet up, but Trinity is now Tiffany. Tiffany has a husband and two kids. So basically what happens there is kind of sort of a defense mechanism for Trinity. They made it so that she's somebody totally different, so that her memories are suppressed too, or whatever. But something really interesting is happening between Neo and Trinity in this movie. So anyway, like I said, the first act is about Neo finding out what's going on, getting Neo unplugged, getting him back into the ship. They go to Zion, or Ino, the new city. The only person that's left is Niobe. We find out that this is 60 years after the trilogy movies, which is nuts. So I guess she's the only survivor left. Apparently, Bugs and her team weren't supposed to be trying to get Neo out or whatever, but it's a stroke of luck that they did. So Niobe, Neo, they have a talk. Things are better. Things are going good. There's even machines and humans are coexisting with each other now. But there's still the machines out here having human batteries and all of that jazz. So Neo notices when he was taken out of the pod that there's another pod and it was Trinity. So you already know what that means. So the basic plot of the movie is Neo waking up trying to get Trinity back. It's pretty much a whole love story, right? And so Neo usually goes into the Matrix and he's trying to convince Trinity, trying to find Trinity, which is Tiffany now, and trying to convince her that this is all a lie, this is the Matrix, trying to unplug her. Smith intercepts him while he's doing that, him and Bugs' crew. Unfortunately, Smith has a very, very minuscule role in this movie. Like, when he shows up, it's really not effective. It's really not like very exciting when he shows up. According to him, he's being controlled, and it's the analyst, the therapist, that's controlling Neo and that's controlling him. He says that when Neo broke free, he broke free too, for the second time. So anyway, they're fighting. They, like I said, Smith intercepts Neo and the crew. The Merovingian comes out of nowhere. He makes like a 2-minute cameo. He brings his minions over, and Bugs' crew fight them while Neo fights Smith. So they do that for a little bit, and Neo does his like shockwave thing, his little new shockwave thing, and Smith kind of just ends up being knocked out or disappearing or whatever. And so Neo goes to talk to Trinity, right? To try to convince her that she is not who she thinks she is and she needs to be unplugged. That is a whole illusion that the analyst he created. We find out that the analyst is actually the new architect of this version of the Matrix, right? And I was like, wow, boy, is this architect a lame-o. This nigga lame. I ain't gonna hold you up, bruh. Because like everything, okay, so everybody, even including the programs, like back in the trilogy, all the programs had their own like specific like knacks about them, their different personalities and things like that. But everybody just regular human people, right? Like the old architect, vis-a-vis, concordantly, you know, all that other stuff. Like he was a robot, man. He was 1001. But this dude, he's just a regular guy. But there's a reason for that. So when he finds Neo, he puts them in this like bullet time freezing state, and then he does a little info dump on them. So what happened was that after Revolutions, I guess it was a long time from then, that he became the new architect. And so what happened was he got Neo's body and he got Trinity's body, and it took a couple years to do it, but he reconstructed their bodies and revived them. What he found out though was when he was reconstructing their bodies, there was some weird connection between Neo and Trinity, that they started doing like the one type shit, you know, doing shockwave things, shock, stuff like that. But basically the gist is there's some type of power between those two. And he found out the closer they got, the more powerful they got. And the more the machines just like they were really fighting machines while being reconstructed. It was crazy. So he found out that as long as he kept them in a specific distance, knowing in their minds what they wanted but they couldn't get, that created more energy for the machines and it trickled down to the rest of the humans. So what he did is decided that he created this matrix based off human emotions, based off I think it was fear and it was like fear and like wrath, not wrath, but like fear and like desperation or something like that, or like just fear and wanting or whatever. So basically it was like humans give off more energy when they yearn for something that they cannot have. So that's why he set Neo up and he set up Trinity to like they're always like going past each other, walking by each other in the simulation. But Neo is like, I know you, but I can't pinpoint it. Trinity's the same way. I know you, but I can't pinpoint it. Apparently that makes more energy for the machines and for the rest of the people. And that's why like they have them in this secret, this tower in the machine city or whatever. So yeah, so that's the first act. Second act, they try to get Trinity out. Smith intercepts. Neo gets tricked by the architect or the analyst, who's the new architect. So he stresses that Trinity is expendable, but he would rather not do that because of the energy that they both bring out. He is urging Neo to go back in the pods. That's what he's urging Neo to do. So fast forward, they go back to real life. Niobe's pissed off because at first when they first saw Niobe was like, hey yo Neo, chill out, don't do nothing. But then Bug's crew was like, hey, don't listen to her, let's go get Trinity. So after they get her intercepted by Smith, and after Neo gets his encounter with the analyst, Niobe's like, what did I tell you? You guys are not listening to me. And so a sentinel comes in the form of the Oracle. So they have a meeting with the Oracle, and the Oracle's like, you find out that the Oracle Sati, right, from the old movies, and she's like, I want to get Trinity. So the second act is basically getting Trinity. So they have this plan where they go to the machine city, go where the pods where Neo was, and they go pick up Trinity. So while in the Matrix, Neo is having a conversation with the analyst, making a deal for Trinity. And in the real world, Bugs and the new Morpheus, which they do this really cool thing Like in the last movie of the Matrix, where Neo goes up to the Machine City, he has a talk with Deus Ex Machina and have the crazy machines form the little baby face or whatever. It's kind of the same thing. So they have these little sentinels, small sentinels, create a human form of the new Morpheus with his consciousness from the Matrix linked into the real world. It's really dope. So this is what happens. In the real world, they go back into the pods and they get Trinity's body. It's Bugs, the Morpheus, and the Sentinel that represents Sati. So they have this plan. They want to see if Trinity wants to get out. If she does, they proceed with the plan. If she doesn't, then they just abort mission. And then Neo is probably going to consider going back into the pods to prevent any harm from Trinity, right? Cool. Because it doesn't make sense for him to want and to free Trinity and do all this if through all that work and effort she gets killed in the process. So he has this talk with the Analyst to give him a chance. He gives him the chance. Neo, Trinity has the talk. Trinity is like, there's something in me that feels like I've been searching for you all my life and have been waiting, wondering why is it taking you so long? But I'm not who you think I am. Meaning that she ends up rejecting rather than accepting. And so the Analyst sees this. Neo's like, I understand. The Analyst grabs Neo, all the not the Sentinels, but the agents, cops, all that other stuff working for the Analyst. And they're probably like trying to kill him or just plug him back into the Matrix, right? Cool. And then her husband and kids come through and they're like, yo, we gotta go. And then somehow, somewhere, something snaps in Trinity. Tiffany is her name in the movie because she's a different person in the Matrix. And so she's like, get off of me. My name is Trinity. I always hated Tiffany. Blah, blah, blah. She snaps out of it and remembers who she is. And then she yells out to Neo. Neo yells out to Trinity. All the agents and cops and stuff are trying to separate them. They join hands. Huge shockwave happens. They figure out there's some type of power between them, right? So the third act is about basically Neo and Trinity trying to escape. They eventually do. They eventually escape. Trinity finds a motorcycle. Neo grabs on, and then they go to the top of some building. They're stranded. Trinity is like, oh yeah, while that's happening, since she is accepting of what the Matrix is, Bugs, Morpheus, and Sati do the thing where they try and get Trinity's body out. But there's a thing that they have to do. They have to use Bugs as a conduit. So they plug her in, right, in the same type of network that Trinity's in. So that way they can take her body out of the Matrix and then plug her in, I think the Sentinel where Sati is, so she can stay plugged in without killing her or whatever. So they get Trinity, put her on the ship, so now she's plugged back into their version of the Matrix rather than the machine Matrix, right? So everything's all good and dandy. Neo and Trinity escape. They go up to some building. They're stranded on top of a building. The agents and all of that come after them, and so they jump off the building. Trinity ends up floating, and then Neo's like, are you doing this? I'm not doing this. And then they find out she's got powers. They fly away, and they eject them out of the Matrix, and they rescue Trinity. And that's basically it. And then they'll have there's some time later, right, where they go to the Analyst's house, basically the place where Neo was having his therapy sessions. They blow a hole into his house, and then you have Trinity coming out of nowhere with her freaking Neo clothes, the one, she's the one. And they're like, hey, we're not trying to make a deal with you. We're just here to let you know that we're redoing the Matrix. We're remaking the Matrix. And that's where the movie ends. And then they fly away like in the first movie. Both Neo and Trinity. So that's a quick breakdown of the movie. I thought the movie was pretty good. I have a lot of questions. When Trinity came out of nowhere doing the one shit and coming to the Analyst telling them, hey, we're not here to make a deal. We're not here to make a deal. We're just trying to tell you we're going to do some heat right here. She like beats him up and like tears off his jaw and then snaps her fingers and his jaw is just back to normal. Like she's doing some weird shit. I don't understand where it came from. I don't get that. And here's my problem. So in the trilogy, you have your systemic anomaly. That's who the one is. Every version has one systemic anomaly. 99% of the people in the Matrix will accept the Matrix as long as you have a choice. That 1%, there's this glitch. There's this equation that is always going to be there within this one person that is able to glitch the Matrix and do whatever he or she wants to do, right? In this version of the Matrix, there's 2 ones now. So where's is this? So does that mean there's 2 glitches? There's 2 systemic equations? Like, wouldn't that rupture the Matrix and like blow it up? Because there's supposed to only be one. I don't understand where that comes from. I'm still trying to figure out why she's doing some superhero shit. Or maybe the code that was in Neo is separated now and him and Trinity like form the full code. I don't know. It just looks like she's doing way more than Neo right now. I don't understand that. Why does Smith have such a minuscule role? One thing I'm actually glad about is I'm actually happy that Hugo Weaving does not play Smith in this role, because if he was, it would have made that role just even more disappointing, because I would have wanted to have seen Smith do way much more stuff, but he's barely in this movie. Basically it's just really about Trinity and Neo trying to get back together. Maybe they're going to put Smith in for like if they make more movies, maybe Smith will have a bigger role. I'm not sure, but I just feel weird because Smith is one of my favorite characters. Like the way he walks, talks, his dialogue between Neo, everything about him, it was just very small. Very, very small. This Matrix is a little bit more fun, more vibrant than the last Matrixes or whatever. But so far, it's a very entertaining movie. It's really good. I don't think it's really that bad, to be honest with you. I don't know what people were talking about. I understand that as a reboot, maybe people were really disappointed because a lot of people were like comparing it to like the new Star Wars movies, because like it's basically the same exact movie, just a little bit of some changes and stuff. But I kind of understand where people are coming from. But to be honest with you, like I think it had to be like that in order for things to they could have done a lot more new things. They could have done things in a way to where Neo came back into the Matrix like in more different ways. Like there could have been like there could have been more of a resistance in the Matrix of the people trying to find their bodies and stuff, or trying to find Neo's body like in the video games, but they kind of just happened to land on it. You know what I'm saying? But like either way, I really enjoyed it. 7.5 for me. I think it's a really good movie. Obviously they're probably going to make more. I don't know how it affects the box office sales since it's on HBO Max, but hey, I enjoyed it. That's all I got for y'all right now. I'm gonna have some more Matrix videos. I do want to defend the sequels. I want to make a video defending the sequels. Like and subscribe. Hey, if you have some opinions about this movie, let's have a conversation in the comments. Hit me up. It's your boy Von Doom, and I'm out.